Hello, everybody. Happy May, and welcome to another episode of Assassin's Read. Today we'll be discussing Setting Sun, which is the second volume of the Assassins comics. Just a quick note before we get started, the next assignment for the book club is going to be the Templars comic series. We're going to jump over to the Templars series and then come back to the Assassins, just due to the way that things are being released as far as when they're coming out. So volume 1 is called Black Cross of the Templars series. We did a giveaway as always, so congratulations to the winners, of course. And if you did not win, please feel free to use the affiliate link in the description of this video to pick up your own copy. So why don't we just dive right into this? We'll try to make this a short video. Setting Sun, Volume 2, continuing the saga of Charlotte de la Cruz, Galena, Cody in the modern day, and then taking on the Inca culture in the historical setting. So start off with likes. I really liked the Inca setting and culture. You might remember in the last review of Trial by Fire, I mentioned we didn't really get as deep a look into the Salem, Massachusetts setting as I would have liked. I think the Inca setting had definitely had more kind of breadth around that. And it was really cool to see stuff like the quipu, the knotted messages that they used and everything. It's one of those things where I really love when the Assassin's Creed series introduces me to new cultures and like things about that culture that I otherwise wouldn't be exposed to. And I think the sign of it doing it really well is if afterwards I really want to like look it up on Wikipedia and stuff, and like I was definitely looking at pictures of like old quipus and everything, and like all that kind of stuff was just really cool to me. I thought it was really unique setting that I don't think we would really experience otherwise. Like I don't think they'd make a game around this or anything, so it's cool that we were able to squeeze it into the comics. Other things I liked the character of Pardo. I thought he was really well done. It definitely a different portrayal of like an assassin than we're used to. Kind of like this big, like obese, kind of washed up kind of guy, but kind of has like a heart of gold. I think they handled his character really well, and I was kind of wondering as the story went on where the Assassin Templar conflict was going to come in the story, because it's not really apparent for most of it in the historical part, I mean. And so it was really kind of a little bit of a surprise to me that it was so light-handed. Like it's really, you don't really even see any Templars. It's just Pardo is an assassin, and even then he's not a typical assassin. But I really liked his character. I thought it was really well done. Okay, one more thing that I really liked. I'm excited to see more of Erudito. I'm glad that they've been pulled back in, and actually in a more meaningful way, at least going forward. It seems like I feel like Erudito's kind of always been at the edges of they kind of get the short end of the stick narratively, I feel, a lot of the times, and like they were kind of brought in and they were kind of pushed to the side, and they're always just kind of mentioned here or there. So I'm glad that they're actually like a major plot point this time. And I think, as far as I know, this is the first time we've actually ever met somebody that's a member of Erudito in Charlotte's grandmother, as far as I can remember. So I'm excited, not so much in how much it's portrayed in this story, but I'm excited for the possibilities going forward. I'm glad that Erudito is being taken kind of more seriously as a plot device. All right, so with that said, let's move on to some quick dislikes. These are mostly kind of nitpicks. Overall, I didn't really have too many complaints about this volume. The first thing is kind of a holdover from Volume 1. It's still kind of Galena, in the sense that I'm still not super crazy about her character and the way she's written. She's kind of just, and like Charlotte calls her out on this, like, you're just kind of a bitch. Like, I don't think she calls her that exactly, but like, just really like, she's just kind of like an asshole. and it's, you can kind of see near the end that she does kind of care for Charlotte and Cody, and like maybe begrudgingly thinks of them as maybe like a little bit of a family and like a team maybe, but like it's not, I don't know, it's still overwhelmingly just she's feels like kind of like a one-note character. And it's like a lot of times in storytelling, it's like your protagonist has this arc of like that they'll follow, and a lot of times you'll have these side characters that are while the protagonist may change like their perspective and like personality and learn things, it's like usually you keep the side characters kind of constant as kind of like a foil to that, as a contrast. And it feels like that's how Galena is being treated, like in this story. She's not changing, like I said, she feels kind of one note. They're not really doing a whole lot with her character besides just having her be like the angry, like bossy, like, I don't know, whatever. And maybe I wouldn't have as much of a problem with this if it weren't for the fact that I had my expectations set a little higher for Galena, because like so many people in the community love her, from Initiates especially, and maybe I guess a little bit of Syndicate and everything. But like she's such a well-loved character that I hadn't seen too much of because I wasn't that much into Initiates, that I guess I have higher expectations. I guess that's part of the issue I have with her. But we'll see. I mean, they give little hints that she's warming up a little bit near the end, but I get the feeling that developing her character isn't really kind of like a priority compared to like Charlotte, and that's the part that kind of disappoints me a little bit. One other dislike, I guess, and this one's just kind of, I don't even know if it's a dislike, but the cartel stuff kind of felt a little shoehorned into the story. Didn't quite feel as natural as maybe I would have wanted, but it wasn't that bad as far as being like shoehorned in. So it's kind of just like a nitpick. And I think that's pretty much it. So with that said, what did you guys think of Setting Sun? Did you enjoy it? Did you like the Inca setting? What do you think about Erudito? If you like the characters, if you like the storyline, if you're excited to see where it goes. Now, before we wrap up this video, just one highlight from last week's discussion on Trial by Fire. This time, it's a comment from Olren Elior, who expresses concern, and this is, I think, mainly in relation to... I'm thinking of a different one. Expresses concern that Ubisoft is falling into the same trap as Square did with Kingdom Hearts. All the Kingdom Hearts titles are relevant for the story, but because only a few of them made it onto the main console and only 2 are numbered, basically, many of them don't think many people don't think of them as important, which is why many people don't think Kingdom Hearts doesn't make any sense. And look what Ubi's doing with AC. Important stuff is revealed in side projects and not main games, which most gamers only know of. And a few people upvoted this comment, and I agree with the sentiment that it's very, it's definitely something to be careful of. I think, having Lucy's betrayal being revealed in the Lost Archive DLC was the first big example of this, where people were kind of like, wait, whoa, like, why is this being done in a random like DLC? Like, people should see this as part of the main games. And I think at the same time, though, and I said this in reply to the comment, like, I sympathize with I think it's a tight balance to try to maintain, because on one hand you want the DLCs and the side projects and everything to be meaningful. You want important stuff to happen in them, right? But at the same time, if you make the important stuff happen in them, or reveals like Lucy's betrayal or Rebecca's fate in Last Descendants, then you risk leaving out anybody who doesn't, partake in these side projects or DLCs, which is the point that Olerin was making. So I sympathize, because it's kind of like a give and take. Like, you're kind of being pulled in both directions. You don't want these side things to just be fluff, right? You don't want them to just be meaningless fluff that doesn't really impact anything. But at the same time, if by nature you make them impact things, then some people are going to miss out if they don't see it. So it's tough, but I thought it was a good point to bring up. Especially like the Kingdom Hearts reference. I don't think we're quite at Kingdom Hearts level. I think we're a long ways from that. I think Kingdom Hearts is also just a little more convoluted in general. If you ever watch the Honest Game trailer for Kingdom Hearts, it's amazing. But that's just a side note. Okay, so with that said, that's going to wrap up this episode of Assassin's Read. I hope you all enjoyed the comics so far. Like I said, we'll jump into Volume 3 of Assassins once we wrap up the Templars series, so make sure to pick up a copy of Black Cross, and I'll see you all in a month for the discussion on the Templars comics. Bye!